This note, I want to bring in Freedom Work economist Stephen Moore. I have a whole list here, Steve, of things that we were worried about going into this, of a potential Biden win that seemed to be off the table, right? So expanding the Obamacare, the Medicaid stuff, banking regulations, abolishing private prisons, marijuana, some of these things that go on, raising the minimum wage. A lot of this stuff can't happen. That couldn't happen without a 60 vote Senate, certainly not without a majority. So what's your main concern now? Because you say don't think the coast is clear just yet.
Well, first of all, don't think the election is over yet either. I mean, right. I hear everybody talking about a Biden presidency. We still think we can win, and we still think we were pretty confident we're going to win Pennsylvania, and then we just have to win one of the other four. So, we've got a shot. I'd say 30, 40, maybe 50% shot of winning. Now, but let's assume for a minute that Biden does win and that the current numbers hold up. Look, I think that this scenario, that somehow this is bullish for the economy, is just wrong-headed. I mean, there's not a single thing, Charles, you can tell me that Joe Biden wants to do that's good for the economy. So that means we're not going to get anything good for the economy, and all that we're going to be able to get is things that are harmful. I happen to think a stimulus is not necessary right now. This economy is red hot. I know your friends on Wall Street want it, but I don't think we need to spend and borrow another $2 trillion. And the other thing, Charles, I would say, that I think people are closing their eyes to is the regulatory state.
Right.
It's something you talk a lot about, Charles, on your show. I mean, Donald Trump didn't need Congress to make his regulatory relief measures, and we know that that Joe Biden, if he's president, is going to want to re-regulate, especially in the energy area and in the healthcare area, and that can do real damage.
I agree 1,000%. I think because we don't see them, right, there's not a lot of fanfare. I mean, initially President Trump would do the signing ceremonies. That was great. But, people just don't know about it, and it works its way into the system. It's been the unsung hero of this economic recovery.
Exactly.
What about also, though, Steve, just the sort of pro-business, pro-can-doism that right. President Trump exuded? I always kind of feel like when I listened to Joe Biden on the campaign trail, we were more of a helpless nation, one that needed to be hunkered down in a foxhole, kind of waiting things out. And if we came out the foxhole, the next idea would be to redistribute, divvy up what we have, so that people who didn't have anything or missed out could have something. Nothing. The message, I think, it's hard to quantify, but it is important for business and entrepreneurship and everything else, isn't it?
Yeah, we did try to quantify it. It's a little bit of a rough estimate, but we estimated that the average household saved about $3,000 under the Trump deregulation effort. That's a lot of money, $3,000 per household. You're talking about tens, if not hundreds of billions of dollars of savings. And the truth is, when you look at people used to ask me, is Joe Biden lying when he says he's not going to outlaw fracking? And I say, no, he doesn't have to outlaw it. If they want to get rid of it, they don't have to. They didn't, Charles. The left didn't outlaw coal mining, right? All they did was just regulate it to death, and they caused a shrinkage of that sector by 50%. Right. That's exactly what they're going to do with oil and gas. They're not going to outlaw it. They're just going to make it so expensive with regulations that it becomes, an untenable industry, and that it will shrink. And that, I hope I'm wrong about that, by the way. I love our oil and gas industry, but I fear that's what's coming.
Steve Moore, and you're absolutely right. We were just talking a what if here. The election has not been called. We know that President Trump and his team have some serious grievances across a couple of these states, so we'll be watching closely. Always appreciate it, my friend. Thank you.